Let's talk about VGK's response in last night's 6-3 win over the Canucks. Our takeaways from the victory coming up. You did spell Smothers correctly today. That's good. Coming up next, right on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. We appreciate that. Find us wherever you get your podcast, and please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Make sure to download the Gametime app today and use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. One of the trademarks of this VGK team since its inception or existence, and we talked about this a little bit last week, it's been the ability to respond with quick goals after an opponent scores. And last night at T-Mobile Arena, we saw the Golden Knights on a couple of occasions come back with a very quick goal, a quick response. After a Nils Höglander goal cut the Canucks deficit down to 2-1. We saw Jack Eichel tallying his 26th goal of the season, and he comes back there just 20 seconds after the Höglander goal. And then Quinn Hughes comes back, cuts the lead down to 5-3 in the third period, and Brett Howden puts the game away. I believe it was 24 seconds later, and a couple of big responses for VGK as they thwart the Vancouver comeback last night at T-Mobile.
We've talked about response before with Coach Cassidy, and Coach Cassidy felt last season at times the players were pushing too hard to get that quick response, which would lead to farther mistakes and things like that. Well, the Golden Knights kind of abandoned that, and they found a way to get those quick responses, 20 and 24 seconds. That was pretty remarkable. And one of the other biggest takeaways I have from the game is the rush game. Their rush game is completely back to where it needs to be. And there's been a series of things that the Golden Knights haven't necessarily been doing well, and they're fixing this in this game. Then they're fixing that in the next game and fixing something else in the game. And if there's a takeaway from something needs to be fixed, it's a net front presence on the defensive side, though. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later in this segment. But overall, VGK came out with a plan. They put up 4 goals on what Jack Eichel said was one of the best first period teams, I believe, in the National Hockey League. So Golden Knights, this is 7 games to go. This is going to be interesting, Tony. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it truly is. And Golick, part of the we are so back crowd. We are so back. Golden Knights talked about getting that fast start. They did explode there, the eruption in the first period, 4 goals, and that is a season high. And they were able to get transition goals, right? Because we were concerned about them getting through the neutral zone. And last night in the aftermath of this contest, Cassidy said that they got through the neutral zone clean, and they did play very well in transition, as you mentioned, on the rush. VGK, very successful in that game. Why do you think it was easier than the last meeting between these two teams?
Personnel will definitely start with the fact that the Golden Knights have had all their pieces in place, and for the most part, players coming back to health to a degree at least. So everyone understands the system, knows their role, so to speak. And you look the last time the Golden Knights and Canucks played, they were talking about having trouble getting through the neutral zone. The Golden Knights were almost trying to push pucks through instead of taking what was given to them. Vancouver came into this game fine. They weren't fatigued or anything like that. Yes, they're without Thatcher Demko, which obviously that's going to be a big blow, being without the number 1 goalie. But I don't think it would necessarily matter a whole lot last night, the way the Golden Knights just attacked and attacked and attacked. And talking to my buddy who was responsible for me tweeting, I was drinking a little bit last night, but my buddy who's in town watching, big Blue Jackets fan, so thoughts and prayers on that one. But he mentioned the Golden Knights don't go across the ice. They just go directly at you. That was his biggest takeaway from the game. And he's right. I mean, the Golden Knights were just attacking. And then when they needed to kind of go into a shell for a minute, they did. And then after they got out of their shell, it was attack. And this is what we saw in the playoffs on display last year. And it's starting to feel a little different.
Yeah, and I did tell you yesterday that special teams would be important in last night's game. I also had, I had Mantha and Marchessault for 4 whopping big points, okay? So I'm just going to give myself kudos because it's the first time this season I could do so.
Give yourself kudos.
Yeah, and we talked about building momentum late in the season on special teams. And VGK responds last night with a couple of power play goals. Noah Hannafin had his first of the season from the point with Barbashev in front of the net. That was a really good screen. And then Carlson on a rebound of a Pietrangelo shot. Quinn Hughes scored on the man advantage for Vancouver last night. And special teams did play a role in last night's contest.
Golden Knights won the special teams battle 2-1. You had a major, you had a double minor, you had all sorts of fun happening.
First penalty of the season for Theodore.
I just caught that. Willie mentioned that this morning. I saw on Twitter when I was going across, and that certainly shocked me. I had no idea. I mean, that's pretty. It was like Eichel's penalty minutes last year. All this year, he's probably out of the Lady Bing conversation with that terrible spear from the other day. But yeah, it's pretty remarkable when you're looking at that. And Theodore, a defenseman, active stick, and there's going to be just incidental penalties that happen. Before we get too lost in this first segment, I do want to acknowledge that this was not Logan Thompson's best game in a while. He's had some really, really good games, and he was okay. Like, he wasn't bad by any means last night.
No. But the hype machine was alive and well last night in viewing this game and listening about how great and brilliant of a performance it was last night. It's just
as a team performance, 100%.
No.
Full marks for the team.
Thompson. No, I'm talking about.
I mean, listen, the Golden Knights, Logan on that first one, you have Pietrangelo right there. You have Thompson trying to play hungry hippo to find the puck down there. He couldn't find it. And there's also a Vancouver player that had a stick on it. That's one of those goals that happens. I'm not knocking him for that one, but I think Vancouver exposed something a little bit last night. We've talked about this a lot, where the Golden Knights, they leave the goalie to fend for himself as far as clearing out the front or fighting through that screen. And the second and third goals that Vancouver got, screens in front of the net, it's tough to stop those, of course, but this was a knock going all the way back to Malcolm Subban when he was trying to work his way up, to be a consistent NHL goaltender behind Fleury. Subban could not fight through a screen to save his life, and that's why he's still, rotting away in various AHL organizations. Logan Thompson, I think, as the playoffs come, you get a heavier net front presence from the other teams. Golden Knights are either going to have to shift the way they play defense sometimes, whether it's on the kill or just in a 5v5 scenario, or Logan's going to have to, go a little 80s, 90s goalie here and, start a little bit of Billy Smith and Ron Hextall in there and clearing out that crease and battling through those screens, because there's only going to be more of those throughout the season. And we talked about Adin Hill. When he first came back, his glove was a little bit weak, and I don't know if he's gotten any better there. I'm not giving any of the other 31 teams breaking news here. They're all breaking this tape down already. But this is a slight concern if we're going to find something negative to talk about right now. Golden Knights got to be better in front of Logan.
I've got negativity too, though. Okay, there's 7 games remaining, and they put Vancouver in a back-to-back. I think they play in Phoenix tonight. That's brilliant. Just stop.
Shut up, Tony.
That's E-runs right there. That's E-runs and Mrs. E-runs and Colleen right there. They wanted to say hello to you, Tony. They wanted to say hello. Here, one more for you.
Shut up, Tony.
All right, there you go.
That is a surprise. I guess it's equal to you spelling the word Smothers correctly for the first time. How did you spell it last time?
I don't know if it was just a word in general. It was just a word in general I screwed up, kind of like where and when Hertl will play, kind of like that.
Where and when Hertl will play. Well, we're not going to get into previewing that segment yet because we still have a little bit more knowledge here to pass along. But Jonathan Marchessault.
Knowledge. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers to you. Jonathan Marchessault closing in on the big goal here. just 2 goals away, had 3 points last night, and he scored goal number 41. We are rooting for you. It's not Marcia So Madness. It's April Show Madness or whatever it is. But congratulations and keep going. Keep going. And the math of
This
goal
is the
was,
this is the most cheerleader version of Tony Cordasco I've seen in 2.5 years on this pod, by the way. Like, that's the most
let's go.
supportive he's ever been.
Let's go. Someone suggested that Vegas Bjorn get traded to the Rangers last night. That would be it. Then I would have to do a reversal and be a full-time VGK fan if that were to happen. Did you see the post-game presser last night? Did you hear
I saw Cassidy. I didn't watch.
Oh my
I
God.
heard
He just
Cassidy.
said whatever the word is. He didn't know how to finish a sentence. Whatever, like, who gives a F-bomb? Like, just quit. He just quit the post-game presser. It's just okay.
Better than quitting in the game.
Yeah, never around that empty net will he ever quit. We did see.
I got my hand in a spot. I don't want to move my hand. I'm kind of comfortable right now, where I would hit you with like 4 more shut up Tonys. I'm comfortable right now, so you're good. You're safe.
2 power play goals for the VGK for the first time since December. They extend the lead to 5 points over Los Angeles. Brett Howden had a really tough night last night.
Yes.
Despite scoring the goal, he was boarded by Nikita Zadorov, and not to be confused with Pia Zadora. And then he hurt his hand, right? I think, and went down the tunnel.
He did. He went down. I don't know if it was for repairs to his nose or what exactly.
He got smashed a couple of times.
Oh, he got crushed. Yeah, but he was also given it too. I mean, Howden knows the scenario right now. Hertl's about to come back into the lineup. Will Carrier, who knows what's going on there, but Howden is on the fringe of not being in the top 18 forwards right now. So you're going to see Howden push really, really hard. He got a goal last night, which was nice. What a dime of a pass by Kolasar. But he got a goal last night. He was involved. He had an effect on the outcome of the game. And I think that's the most important thing you can say about a fourth line player at this stage of the season. And of course, once the playoffs come.
I think it was in the either late second or third period, probably the third period, when Logan Thompson saw Arshdeep Baines chopping at his glove hand. I don't know if you saw that, but he just chopped down. Could have been a nasty injury there. So we're hoping he's okay, because he's the only thing they have to ride at this point. Coming up next, Tomas Hertl was on the ice yesterday with no restrictions. He wore a white jersey, full contact. He should debut in Phoenix this Friday in front of the Golick family. Where will he line up? Where, and I'm going to just read off the slate, where and when WIN Hertl will play. We'll get to that, and we'll talk about the grammar usage here when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Gametime has deals on tickets right up until the start of the event, and even an hour after it begins. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Chris and I have both utilized it in that manner. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, as you get on the daily right here, theater, and much, much more. With zone deals, you pick the section. Gametime picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. And the Gametime guarantee, well, that means that you will always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section or row for less, then Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Welcome back from Las Vegas. Tony Cordasco and Chris Golick reporting. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Locked On Golden Knights. We did have 4 downloads yesterday, as I reported on Twitter, from Helsinki, Finland.
Let's go.
Cheerio. No, that's British. Whatever you say in Finland. Hello to Finland, to our Finnish friends. And the Chris Times Chris Show, the YouTube exclusive, can be seen every Saturday. Are you going to do Chris times Chris show from Phoenix, or how's that going to
No,
work
I'm
out?
not bringing anything with me. No, we'll do it when we get back home. We'll be
You should
back.
do it in the car on the way
We're
home.
leaving.
The
We're
whole
gonna do
Golick
yeah,
family.
right. No, I think it's only me and Chris. I'm not sure if the girls are going to come or not. But we're set just in case, but I don't think they're going to. But no, I think we're going to hit. We might wait till about 10 or 10:30 to come home. We might hit Portillo's and bring home a chocolate cake first. So we'll see. Bring the
That's a
whole
good
cake.
plan.
Bring the
There
whole
you go.
cake. Drink a shake in the car at 10 and 10:30 in the morning. I mean, if I can drink a Blue Moon at 10:45, I can have a shake at 10:30.
Very true. Okay, so Tomas Hertl out yesterday skating in the white jersey, so he's back to full contact. Acquired from San Jose at the trade deadline, should be playing Friday in, did I say Phoenix? In Tempe. Where will Hertl play in the lineup? Top sixer, I guess you could say, in San Jose, if that's even a term. Who gets bumped from the lineup?
I think the most likely scenario is Cotter is completely scratched and Hurdle's
Oh,
going to go on that wing for now.
he's had a miserable
Um,
season. I'm sorry. I feel bad for the guy, but
Cotter
he's not had a good season at all.
Cotter has, we've talked about this. He has waves where he looks like he's going to fit the part and he just works his butt off in puck battles and stuff. And then he has giveaways and he's disengaged from the game. I thought there was a really good shift by Cotter as we're getting into that really fast. Cotter gets knocked down. He gets dazed for a second. The puck is right around the net. And then once he gets his once he recalibrates, you see him really work hard for the rest of that shift to keep the puck in as he goes out for a line change while the Golden Knights keep the puck in the offensive zone. So we'll see where Cotter's career goes. But Hertl, I think the most logical spot is going to be on that second line with Stevenson and Amadio, and then Paul Cotter will end up becoming a healthy scratch. Coach Cassidy has mentioned it's easier for a new player to maybe adapt to a new system on the wing, kind of basically scrub the whole thing, right? He's been a center for most of his career. So, new system, new position, learn it all together. But then we'll see what happens once the playoffs start. I still wonder if Wah gets, I don't know. I think Cassidy likes Nick Waugh down on that fourth line and the balance it gives. So really, is Hertl going to push Stevenson to the wing? Is probably the big question right now. And then and then question 2, subpart 4, line 12. Of course, that's a back to school Rodney Dangerfield reference. Chris Condos 4. Sorry, all right. But going back to, I love that movie. Such a good movie.
That's a good movie.
What's going to happen now when Stone possibly comes back, and then Carrier comes back, and it's like I said, it's getting fun. Where and when Hertl will play. I know we were talking about that spelling here, Tony. It says where and when. I didn't spell it wrong. See, it's good. It's fine.
Well, if they play him at center, his natural position, then they'll win. So it does make sense. Will he be playing on the power play? He's pretty strong. Is he on PP? That sounds odd. That sounds really weird. PP1 or PP2?
Probably the second.
Do you call it PP?
That one. I like it. Yeah. I like it. I like calling it the kill, but I don't. PP is kind of weird unless you're typing it.
That's weird. Yeah.
I mean, maybe he can go on the top power play unit. I think that might be a little bit overkill, and I think it's important for the Golden Knights to have 2 power play units because the first unit's not always going to get it done, and the first unit has not always gotten it done throughout the season. So I think if there's a spot in this roster where there needs to be a little bit more balance, I think it is in the 2 power play units, especially to have a good unit to go when there's 30 or 35, 40 seconds left, who can also play on the defensive side of the puck. You don't want to get caught when you have 4 forwards out there, and then the player comes out of the box, and all of a sudden they're attacking. You only got 1 defenseman out there. So that's another way to look at that.
Okay, we've got a news flash. I want to act like I'm paying attention. Whatever you said, it's great, brilliant, as always. But I was bumped from the front page of this Dutch newspaper. So they sent me the preview article. But they're telling me now that I was bumped for a bigger story in women's football, women's soccer. Leicester sacks Willie Kirk after investigation into alleged relationship with a player on the women's team. So that was more important than my sports story. So, but it's coming out soon. It will be out very soon, they say, as they promised. I think I could read Deutsch. Okay. Oh, there's a show going on. And we're talking about Leicester? No. Oh, we're talking about Tomas Hertl, who hasn't played since January the 27th, had cartilage removed from his left knee in February, had
Sounds lovely.
a plump 34 points in 48 games. Because wasn't that like San Jose, very difficult to get goals? If he had 34 points, that equates to about 60 some odd points here in Vegas. Here comes the fog.
There's the fog. Yeah, I mean, listen, Hertl, just kind of looking through his career regular season statistics, 712 games played, 484 points. So not a point per game player by any means, not even really that close in that regard. So you're going to look at him obviously on both sides of the ice to hopefully help on the defensive side and grind, right? And grind away. 6 foot 215, so certainly helps with the physical elements that the Golden Knights have too. And the only slight concern, I guess, where and when WYNN, where and when Hertl will, look at that fog coming in, where and when he will play is, will it possibly disrupt things for a little bit? It kind of took the Golden Knights a little bit of time to get going when Hanifin and Mantha joined the team. So will Hertl fit like a glove, so to speak, or will it end up taking a few games, and could it possibly derail the momentum right now? God, look at that fog. We certainly hope that's not the case, as I've been chirping that the Golden Knights are about to go on a run, and so far I'm right.
So far you have been right about that. And do we want to talk about Locked On Avalanche taking the day off because one of its hosts had allergies today?
Allergies? You're in a fire over there, and you're still recording.
Yeah, allergies. So
allergies.
I asked I had to ask on Twitter. We can give them the business all day. I asked if they got a doctor's note for that. So
allergies?
Allergies. Ahead on this show, holy smokes. I'm going to change locations tomorrow. I apologize, folks.
This Method Man over there.
It's not even 420. And
yeah, I looked at my calendar. We're 17 days away. It's so funny. We both did that.
Can VGK move up in the standings with 7 games remaining? I think that's the discussion. You will have my undivided attention. Thanks for, of course, filling in for me on that last segment, Golick. We'll return with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. The sports calendar is absolutely loaded right now. And sort of like Golick was last night. Sports calendar's loaded, and FanDuel is making it even more exciting to get into the action. Look at all the sports that's out there right now. We've got Major League Baseball, and the Yankees got shut out last night, 7-0. That stinks. This is a Yankee team that started off 5-0, could realistically lose the next 5. This is the way it is being a Yankees fan. Because right now, that's right, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200, and you can use it to bet on the tournament. Of course, we're heading down to the wire. We've got the men's and the women's tournaments. I got to tell you, I called some games this past season I had Indiana State in 3 games at the Dollar Loan Center, former Dollar Loan Center. Foley Family Forum now. No, Lee's Family Forum. That's it, Lee's Family Forum. So I had some of their games. They're playing Seton Hall in the final of the NIT, and that's a fun matchup if you really like hoops. Okay, $200 that you can bet on the tournament. You can bet on Major League Baseball, NBA, of course, the NHL, and much, much more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make us your first bet a big win. FanDuel. Well, we did use the word win. Okay, that's good. You had foresight there. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. I might call in tomorrow with allergies. I've been fighting the allergies. Don't forget, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. And, of course, Saturdays, the Chris Times Chris show. And you had better, Chris Golick, have a doctor's note for missing that, even if you're going to Phoenix to watch the game down there. How much are tickets in relation to VGK? Do you know?
They're really expensive because it's
That's
a
right.
small barn, Tony. It's a small barn.
They up
I
the
was
prices.
fortunate to have a good situation as far as how I acquired my tickets. So I honestly don't know, but I'm sure they're like $300-400 a ticket to get.
That's
for
right.
this
They
game
did.
easily.
They upped the ticket prices there because of the small barn. It used to be.
Well, that and the resale market. I mean, if you got season tickets down there, you're probably doing really well, actually.
Yeah, very true. They did used to have like so many empty seats that you could get a good ticket for 50, 75 bones
Oh,
there.
I was going to Blackhawk games down in what the old Gila River Arena for like $20-25. Like good tickets. It was great.
Yeah. So VGK, 7 to go. Can VGK climb the ladder in the standings? That is this topic. I'm going to try to stay on focus on point. Not only can VGK improve its position in the Pacific Division, they're ahead now by 5 points over the slumping LA Kings, who do not leave the state of California for their final 8, which is really interesting. But with 92 points now, it's a possibility that VGK can catch the Oilers. And they are 3 back with 2 games in hand for the Oilers. So it could be a remote possibility. Who knows? The way VGK is playing, they can only control their own destiny. Can they catch the Canucks? I know that's something you've talked about. They passed the Predators in the West. They passed the Preds and U2 in the West, and they have a 2-point lead there. And now they're just 4 points, I believe, away from Winnipeg. So, yes, in the West, they could climb up the standings here with a late season heater.
These are all important things because I believe once it gets to the conference final, home ice is determined based off of the team who is higher in the standings. I think the division winners will get the home ice in the first 2 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, it's going to be strictly by points, not based off of anything else. So we'll see if the Golden Knights can at least pass the Jets in that category, who are also slumping, like you said earlier. I've been saying this for a while. I think the Golden Knights, with 3 games to go, will have a mathematical possibility to climb and pass the Vancouver Canucks, which means they'd probably already be past the Edmonton Oilers. I've been saying this for almost a week now. This is where the Golden Knights are going to go on a very nice streak. On Saturday's Chris and Chris show, I said the Golden Knights will get 6 of the 12 points basically in the month of April, but they might go 7-1 in April. Like, they're that good right now. They're in form. Everything is working out. Goaltending has been very, very solid. We'll see when when Aiden Hill comes back into the mix, how that's going to play out. But today is a really fun day for the Golden Knights to be off and scoreboard watch. Edmonton in Dallas. That's a tough game. That's a really, really tough game. Dallas is probably slightly favored in that game. And then
do you root for Dallas if you're a VGK fan?
Oh, God, yeah, of course. Look,
okay.
Yeah, VGK fans, like, for a reason, they've wanted to look down in the standings, like what's happening behind them, and look up and try and find a way to climb the standings. That's where I've been looking for the last 3 weeks now. So Edmonton, tough game. If Edmonton drops that game, Edmonton only has 1 game in hand, and it's still going to be a 3-point gap, obviously, between the 2 teams in the standings. Who will meet the Golden Knights and Oilers on Wednesday, April the 10th in Edmonton? Big game. Monday, April 8th in Vancouver. Golden Knights and the Canucks will have another matchup next week.
Demko will be back. That's going to be my prediction. They said he'll be back by the end of the season.
Demko should be back April 6th, I think, is his LTIR clear dates.
Yeah, he'll be
back. So nothing
back.
has changed with his injury timetable. But tonight, like you said earlier, Arizona Coyotes are waiting for the Vancouver Canucks, who got blown the heck out by the Golden Knights. They got smothered by the Golden Knights. And we'll see if the Coyotes can get an important WINN win for the Golden Knights.
I did want to point out, of course, before we depart on today's show, I think it was, I'm going to call it the golden tweet of the day, or Zeet or whatever. Well, yesterday at VGK Fan 702, this was brilliant. Along with the renaming of the Dollar Loan Center, VGK announces that the Fortress has a new naming sponsor. T-Mobile Arena is now the Spirit of the Cap Arena. Can you see that there? That's tremendous.
So It's been
That's
such
tremendous.
a fun 48 hours. It has been
That's
so fun.
that's just tremendous.
Oh my
I'm
God.
surprised that a lot of the quasi media folks did not pick up on this. I'm surprised that they haven't, because it came from
They
you and our
enjoy going
account.
to the games in the press box. That's why they didn't.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very, very true. Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Of course, tomorrow we'll have we have another day before that preview show for
No must-win games.
a must show up for work day tomorrow, of course, for What the Thursday. And we appreciate you tuning in, especially our everydayers. Thank you so much. Make sure to check out the podcast wherever you get the podcast. And then also sign up and subscribe, rather, to Locked On Golden Knights on the YouTube channel. I got
So
a lot of
you've been paying attention, Tony. Look at the screen at the where and when.
You changed it. Where and oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Wow. I like that. No, you're driving me crazy there. I can't see my eyes. I might have to call in sick tomorrow. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. Have a great day, everyone. And please take care.